up, guys? What up? It's Shanny with Healing Elements. What is up? Happy New Year. It's the beginning of 2022. And this is a Shanny Testifies video. And it's going to be started off with a disclaimer, just because I always want to be very, very thoughtful and very considerate to people. So I want to start out by just saying my belief, and I don't want to offend anyone who is particularly maybe Christian or considers Jesus Christ to be their Lord and their Savior. I want to just start out by saying that I mean no offense by this video. My testimony is just my personal experience, and I consider Jesus of Nazareth to be an evolved human being, to be an ascended master, to be, of course, God's son, or the source of all that is, the offspring of that, in which I believe that all of us are. However, and I do believe that the testimonies, some of them in the Bible, are correct. I do believe that if monks can walk on hot coals and not have those coals burn their feet, then Jesus could walk on water and do things of that nature, heal people. Of course, I do energy healing, not comparing myself to Jesus, but that being said, I truly do feel as if he is perhaps our guardian, our protector of this earth, somebody who is an ethereal being, who is ascended master again, who may even reincarnate into different souls here on earth. That is my take. He's a very beautiful, beautiful being, and I myself, in my understanding and my experience and my truth, had an experience to get to know Jesus, and it was profound because, I'm being brought up with no particular religion. My grandma did take me to a non-denominational Christian church, and so I had that background. However, I was, never versed in or expected to be a Christian, and so, Jesus has always been a kind and loving influence, because I was not forced into any kind of right-wing, evangelical, or any kind of really coarse, demanding, again, I don't want to offend anybody, but Latter-day Saints type of religion, in which you have to follow a set of rules and protocols and pledge your life and honor to one person, Jesus, as the master of everything. I just don't believe, and based on my experience and what I will share with you guys, that is not the way that Jesus himself, that spirit living in the body who walked the earth, wants it to be either. So when we first go through spiritual awakening, a lot of us will have some very shocking, profound experiences that come on suddenly and are then to be reflected upon and digested, just like, when I got regressive therapy and I needed to digest exactly, what that was, and if it was a true experience, having recalled memories from when I had seen a UFO 20 years before. So this was a similar shocking or stunning or astonishing, just very, very peculiar at first experience for me. And then as I grew into and surrendered, which I think is the key to anything that you're experiencing during your spiritual awakening, I really, truly feel that surrender is your best friend. Surrendering to letting the experiences flow, because if not, it truly, could make you crazy. So basically, I had a dream that lasted 40 nights. So I thought it was pretty cool and metaphorical, because I have been really, really called to learn about theology and different religions. And, during 2016, I did read, the Bhagavad Gita. I read different portions about the Tao. I read the Bible and highlighted portions that I agreed with or that I felt resonated with myself. And so I did get into, at the time when I had the dream, I did get into learning about what Jesus was all about in detail, because I had, again, been introduced and known the gist of it. But, so at this time, I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, or all kind of different, pieces of literature or oral histories, even from Native American tribes. I was really into, and still am called to find out more. So, I could have been dreaming about a medicine woman or something like that, but Jesus himself. And it's very, very hard to detail and explain, but I'm going to try my best to convey how real, compared to any other dream state that I've ever been in, this particular series of 40 nights of a dream that continued every day, which I've never had before, never had since, how profound it was and how neat and how much it helped me on my journey. Because truly, whether or not that was, Jesus Christ himself, which I know in my truth it was, and or if it was a ethereal being, a light worker, a spirit guide trying to encourage me in the way in which I could understand, that to me is insignificant. But I know that it was truly the beautiful, beautiful entity in which people call Jesus. So I at first was fearful. So I had this dream, and when I woke up again, the dream was different than anything I'd ever had before. It was extremely real, and it was as if it was a lucid dream. I was present, able to telepathically, not with words, speak back and forth to Jesus. And of course, the first dream, he introduced himself, and it was shocking to me because it was not what I expected. I expected it to be, if I ever had come across this, entity called Jesus, whether it was in the afterlife or not, I expected it to be formal and maybe, bow down before him and anoint his feet, that kind of thing. But it was like as if the first interaction telepathically was like, I am your equal. You are so loved. And I want to tell you what I'm really about. And I want to tell you that, I am my own sovereign being. And I never wanted the message came right off the bat. I never wanted people to become, in discord because of what I represented. And so the dream did scare me at first because it was so real. And it took about until day 10 when I realized this is not going away. I'm going to have to really buckle down and surrender, which I did, and understand that there has got to be a purpose for this, ongoing dream that happened continuously day after day. And so by the end, and I'll go into detail as much as I can, by the end of the 40 nights, the dream was incredible. Every single night I actually looked forward to what I was going to, telepathically talk to Jesus about that night. And I was intrigued and excited about the lessons that I would learn. And I was soaking it up as if this was ancient knowledge coming to me in a time that I needed, which it was. And so basically, I was shown, it started off where we were up at the top of a canyon, almost picture like Grand Canyon. We're looking down into the valley and there's things going on, like a lifetime that was incredibly, in the beginning I was assuming it was, but it definitely, as it turned out, was his experiences in his lifetime. And so basically, I was shown different scenarios, and he was showing me different experiences of temptation, different experiences of, um, an unkind word or unkind action that somebody else had done, and then his follow up to that in real time. It was almost as if we were, spirits. We were ghosts kind of watching him. So here's his, angelic being, soul being, and here's mine. And we're kind of like going through the motions from up top at the canyon, kind of in an instant projected down to where the scenario was going on. And it could be as little as a little girl who, was abandoned and orphaned because she had leprosy, and the trials and tribulations, and then having him go and show himself to her as a angelic being and give comfort and hope for, the future based on what she had to endure, to all kind of scenarios where he was kind of like we all are being tested upon his beliefs and faith and being condemned for what he could do, like heal. And so I know a lot of us during our spiritual journeys, we experience judgment, extreme sometimes judgment. And of course, that is what I came to understand was truly the purpose of this ascended master here on earth, is to show the world that you can be your own unique individual and have judgment, terrible afflictions, death in his case, cast upon you, but that you are always loved. You are your own authentic being, and what you are doing and how you are living is no one else's concern. And also to stand true to who you are and what you believe in, no matter what that is. And so all of these scenarios played out day after day, and I was so surprised. Back to the first time I ever interacted with him, I was so surprised because of the way that he came off. Honestly, like this evolved, very, you know, tenured, very, experienced hippie, almost like a complete friend, an equal, someone who is, would joke with me and would, you know, say, you you are loved just as I am, and let me show you that I am joy, that I am laughter, that I am fun. And was such a positive interaction telepathically. And the windows to the soul, I tell you, when I would connect with Jesus' eyes in the dream, it was profound. It was the light of the light, right? This was something that was definitely, definitely inexplicable, even to my own journal writings after I would come out. I have several journal writings in which I try to find them a little bit before coming out here to the park, but no such luck. But in any case, these experiences that may happen to you that are maybe mind boggling, or your ego mindset wants to cram away and try to find logic within, some do not at the time, have any logic, or you think they have no place. Let's say, you're an atheist and you're having a spiritual awakening and you experience a divine sign from Krishna, let's just say, and you do not understand, and you try to push this out because you feel as if this is just your mind manifesting imagination. This could definitely be the case. We all have to gauge and be, discerning against, false prophecy or false information. But when this is, just like this experience, when this is something in which just seeps into your soul and is, resonant with you, and you can't stop thinking about it, there has to be a lesson. And mine was a very beautiful, complex, yet simple lesson. It's, basically, throughout the 40 nights dreams, I was told that from 2017 onto the future until about 2023, I would be in a kind of like I call it, I spoke on my channel about it, like a spiritual awareness or awakening boot camp, trying to, toughen myself up spiritually and get into my power with faith, and without any backing down away from the knowledge and the knowing that I've come to understand is truth. And that even if in the face of temptation, of things that could steer me away from the healing and light worker path, or information of judgment to detour me, or to make me feel as if I had no right to maybe heal with my energy, right? Which that was before the dream, was before I went into Reiki. And so I had, been given all the answers that I needed, basically, to not feel guilty and not to feel like this was a specific divine tool that could only be used for a select few, etc. So my lesson was so complex, again, so integrated, but just basically encouraging, empowering, getting me ready for the challenge that was ahead of me, which indeed came down, in so many different ways. And it continues to, and I am just very thankful to have met that soul. And so, again, no offense to anyone who considers, that person to be an exalted figure that you are unable to relate with. For me and my truth, it was somebody who is more than your best friend, somebody who is more than your big brother or sister, somebody who is so down to earth and so loving and so unconditionally giving of their kindness that it's mind-blowing. So if you guys have any experiences, feel free to comment it down below. I have spoke little bit by little bit in some of the videos I've done, but I've never kind of did a Shanny Testifies and did my testimony about how profound it was. And I feel as if I could talk about this for hours, but I would love to talk about other people's understanding, beliefs, you know, um, experiences that they've had perhaps with this soul. And I do believe that he is such a powerful angelic ascended master that when you are in need, just like any guardian angel, just like the archangels, anything that you call upon for assistance, divine assistance, miraculous, or, beautiful divine help, I feel as if this guidance will be provided and in an instantaneous notion if you call upon whom we call Jesus. Big part of the, I would say, the middle part of the dreams, like for at least 3 days, which the theme was brought up on the first day, but at least 3 days, it was nonstop saying, you were right to go with your instinct, your intuition. It'll tell you what you were right about. Is that I am brothers, and here, and he showed me. He said, here I dwell with my loved ones, and it was who I considered to be. I wasn't familiar, but I assume Krishna, Buddha, the Buddhist. There was all kind of different ascended master looking archetypes, right? And he was explaining to me telepathically that I am one in the same, and we are always and have always been here to assist and to guide and to be of loving God source for the collective body of souls that exist. And so I just was encouraged and empowered and comforted and warned of trials and tribulations that would befall me, and giving, the word of, look what I went through. And, I didn't mean for a religion to be started on my behalf. That was a big message. And so again, I didn't want to offend anybody, but it was profound the way that I was kind of told all of the intuitive guidance that I thought, and to be honest, when I was younger, I had felt guilt about feeling like, should I feel guilty because I think that Jewish people, or I think that, people that are in another country who practice indigenous religion, do I think that they're going to the same heaven? Yes. And I used to kind of feel guilty because, of course, mainstream Christians believe if you do not, call out and state that Jesus is your savior, that you are not, quote unquote, saved and will not be going to heaven. I completely disagree, and so did the person in which I know to be Jesus in my dream. Absolutely everyone goes there, and there may be different levels, there may be different consequences, there may be different scenarios for what you will experience after death, but best believe you're going to go to the same place. And if you have any remorse and compassion and understanding for what love is, you're going to be in the same place as him. One of the big themes in my 40 nights of dreaming was, my father has many rooms, that kind of telepathic message where there is room for everyone here, and there is so much love, even more so. I was given even more so for those that people deem to be evil. And that was hard for me to compute. It was this beauty that I cannot describe, because when you look at somebody who is truthfully telling you that those people need more love, or need to be showered as much love, let's say, as somebody who is a saint, right? It's really hard to digest because of how we are conditioned to think and how we just are, and our brains compute things on this physical plane. So guys, that was it's 20 minutes long, but that was my testimony on the 40 night dream, 40 days and 40 nights dream of Jesus Christ. And he's amazing, and he's my friend, and I adore him. Very, very beautiful experience for me. So blessings, love, and light, guys. Guys, I appreciate you and send you nothing but blessings on this day, which is the 4th of January, 2022. And always totally sending you out appreciation, and just a big sigh if I could only transfer how that dream for 40 days and 40 nights made me feel. So blessings, guys.